Once again, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I warmly welcome you all to the induction ceremony of the 84th President of the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon. To commence the proceedings, it is with great pleasure that I invite the President of the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon, Professor Sagarika Ekanayake, to welcome you all to this momentous occasion. Professor Ekanayake currently serves as a Senior Professor at the Department of Biochemistry, Faculty of Medical Sciences, University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, and is a visiting professor at the College of Chemical Sciences, Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon. Without further ado, I cordially invite Professor Ekanayake to deliver the welcome address. Thank you, Buddha. Good evening to all of you. Chief guest, Professor LMV Tilakaratne, University of Toledo, USA. President-elect, Professor Shriyanti Dharaniyagala, past presidents and council members, and all members of Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon, family members of President-elect, Registrar, Dean, visiting academics, and all other staff of the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. As one of the last duties of the 83rd President of the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon, it is my pleasure and privilege to very warmly welcome all of you who are joining through the online platform and who are physically present here to the induction ceremony of the 84th President of the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon, Professor Shriyanti Dharaniyagala. I very cordially welcome our chief guest for today's event, Professor LMV Tilakaratne, joining with us all the way from USA. Welcome, sir. And I extend a warm welcome to the past presidents and the council members, fellows, and all members of the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon, the family members of President-elect, the visiting academics, registrar, and all staff members of the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon, all other invitees, and all of whom joining with us today through the online platform. This year, due to the pandemic and all the restrictions imposed on travel and gatherings, we are unable to have the customary annual dinner and the induction of the president as intended. This induction ceremony actually is being held with all joining virtually with President-elect, individuals who provide logical support, and me and the registrar and few members being present here, few council members being present here. So the induction ceremony of the new president is the last event of annual session celebration each year. And I hope the president-elect will allow me a few minutes to elaborate a bit on the Golden Jubilee Annual Sessions 2021 of the Institute, which was held on 27th to 29th of June. That is past few days. We had the inauguration ceremony of the Golden Jubilee Annual Sessions and 80th anniversary of the Institute on 27th of June. Again, mainly as a virtual event with very few members being physically present and majority joining through online, which was graced by Professor Kapila Pereira, Secretary of the Ministry of Education, as the chief guest. In addition to the usual activities, we launched a book compiled covering the significant events of the Institute in chronological order, titled Our Voyage Through the Years at the inauguration. And I'm sure all who have been part of the Institute will enjoy reading this book once we put it out next week. Inauguration was followed by the annual general meeting, again as a virtual event for the first time in the history of Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon. On the following day, we had the theme seminar with eminent scientists from Israel, Pakistan, India, Australia, and Sri Lanka, delivering very interesting and thought-provoking lectures under the last year's theme, Sustainable Development Through Chemical Sciences, again, a virtual event. The technical sessions held yesterday, again, totally virtual. For the first time, we had a session dedicated to Institute's own graduates pursuing postgraduate studies outside Sri Lanka. They presented their research work and was very appreciative of the opportunity to share their work. I hope that in the future, President-elect, there will be a session dedicated to postgraduate students of the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon at the annual sessions. I'm happy to say that the postgraduate students session and the technical sessions that followed were attended by an unprecedented number of participants this year. The annual sessions program ended with another session organized by the Women Chemists Committee of the Institute, which was well received. I believe the participation at all these events was very much more than if we had a physically present event. In number, we had over 100 participants for all these sessions. I'm very happy to see this successful end to the annual sessions, as this is the first time we held a totally virtual annual sessions program. In addition, during the past 10 months, with the help of many, I was able to achieve the targets I had set in achieving and more when I took over as the president, and I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all who supported in these endeavors. It is my fervent hope the president-elect and the new council will have not so a difficult year as we had with the pandemic and all the things I had to deal, and will work to take the institute further along many paths, including the construction of the new building, the Malambe campus, as the contractor will be selected soon and will be able to achieve much more than we did during the past 10 months. So once again, I very warmly welcome all of you to the induction ceremony of the 84th president of the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon, and extend my best wishes to her and the new council for the coming year. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Madam. Now I cordially invite Professor Ramani Wijesekara to introduce the distinguished chief guest for the evening.
Good evening. I'm pleased and privileged to introduce Professor L.M.V. Tilakaratne, our chief guest for this important event this evening. Professor Tilakaratne is no stranger to the chemistry community of Sri Lanka. Having graduated in 1969 with a BSc Special Degree in Chemistry with first-class honours from the University of Colombo, he went on to obtain his D.Phil in Organic Chemistry from the University of Oxford in 1975. Thereafter, he served the Department of Chemistry of the University of Colombo for 20 years and held the post of Chair in Organic Chemistry from 1984 to 1992. He also served as the Dean of the Faculty of Science from 1985 to 1992. He resigned from the university in 1992 to take up the position of Research Professor, Department of Medicinal and Biological Chemistry, College of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences, University of Toledo. He has been at the University of Toledo since then and currently holds the posts of Professor in the Department of Medicinal and Biological Chemistry, College of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences, and also has joint appointments as a professor in the Department of Chemistry, College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics, and the School of Green Chemistry and Engineering of this university. Professor Tilakaratne, always having been a keen researcher, has 80 publications in well-recognized journals and 16 US patents to his credit. He has also supervised and continues to supervise numerous PhD and master's students. Professor Tilakaratne's contribution to academia was not restricted to the University of Colombo. He was an active member of the Sri Lanka Association for the Advancement of Science, SLAAS, having held positions such as President, Section E2, Secretary, Section E2, and Chairman, Committee for the Popularization of Science, to name a few. His association with the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon, goes way back to 1979, when he was a member of the first academic board of the Institute. He has also served on its council in various capacities. The Institute's first science exhibition for school children, which was held in the SLA's building, was organized by him and was reported to be a resounding success. Professor Tilakaratne was a former teacher of mine at the Department of Chemistry, University of Colombo. Although he left the department over 20 years ago, he has maintained a close association with us over the years, continuing to help in any way possible. He has been the external examiner of our MSc program in Applied Organic Chemistry from 2008 to date. We in the department know that he is just a call or email away when in need. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to invite Professor L.M.B. Tilakaratne to address you today as the chief guest at Professor Sriyanti Deraniyagala's induction ceremony. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Professor Ramani Wijesekara, for your very kind introduction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. President of the Institute of Chemistry, Professor Sagarika Ekanayake, President-elect and soon to be the President, Professor Sriyanti Deraniyagala, past and current members of the Council of the Institute of Chemistry, members of the Institute of Chemistry, staff of the Institute of Chemistry, students of the graduate program, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Professor Deraniyagala, for your very kind invitation for me to be the chief guest on the occasion of your induction as the 84th President of the Institute of Chemistry. I consider it a great privilege and an honor to participate in this ceremony as a chief guest and to address you. I'm especially delighted to be a member of this ceremony because I was an active member of the Institute of Chemistry before I left Sri Lanka many years ago. I served in the Council of the Institute of Chemistry for many years and actively participated in its activities. One activity that I would like to particularly highlight is my involvement in the graduateship program at its very inception. Professor Wijesekara just happened to mention that I was a member of the first academic council, yes, because I was involved in the teaching of that program right from its inception. I was one of the lecturers who taught in the graduate program. As she mentioned, I served in the academic council. I think it was in 1979. I very vividly remember one particular incident from that time. Unlike today, it was during a period when the university academic staff did not take part in paid outside work without the permission of the Vice Chancellor. And we did not violate that rule. Although, unlike today, the university salaries were very low and we virtually lived from paycheck to paycheck. I still remember my salary after I returned to the country with my postgraduate qualification was less than 1,000 rupees a month. Okay, but still we did not violate that rule. So anyway, coming back to this story, by the evening before the graduateship course was to begin and the first lectures of the course were to be delivered, we had not received the permission of the Vice Chancellor to teach at the Institute of Chemistry. Dr. Hettiarachchi, Dr. Thuresingham, Dr. H.D. Gunawardena, and we were young lecturer, and myself, we are young lecturers who had just returned to the country after our postgraduate studies. We flatly refused to teach. We said, nothing doing, we are not going to teach without the permission of the Vice Chancellor. That placed Professor Ramakrishna and Dr. J.N. Fernando in a very difficult position. Remember, they were chiefly instrumental in getting this course off the ground. So that really made them to hyperventilate. They rushed to see the Vice Chancellor, Professor Stanley Vijayasundara, and then later came back. This was late in the evening, just before the course was to begin. So they came back with the written permission of Vice Chancellor, and therefore the lectures were held the following day as scheduled. By the way, I must mention that the academic staff of the chemistry department, University of Colombo, played a major role in teaching the graduateship program at its inception. Professor Ramakrishna himself, Professor J.N. Fernando, Professor Mahendran, Professor Etiarachi, Professor Thuresingham, Professor Gunawardena, Professor Hevage. I see that Professor Gunawardena and Professor Hevage are in the audience. They are joining virtually. And then two Professor Williams and myself. We all did bulk of the teaching. There were others from other universities, like the two Professor Kumars from Peradeniya, Professor Maheswaran from Jaffna University, Dr. Jan from the CSR or the ITI as is currently known, and they also participate in the teaching. There must have been others also, but these are the names that come to my mind. So please, I would like to apologize if I left out any names, and that's not it's not intentional. I remember I gave the first organic chemistry lectures, and there were about 80 students in the first year class. Those days, unlike today, the institute did not have its own building, and the lectures were held at the Aquinas College, Borel, and the practicals were held at St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia, with very rudimentary equipment and facilities. And the institute shared office in the on the building of the Sri Lanka Association for the Advancement of Science. Not only the office, even the other facilities were shared with the SLAs. I think the Institute of Chemistry kind of owe a very big thank you to the SLAs for the support it received from the very beginning. I'd like to take this, it's nice to see that the institute now has its own buildings, okay? And also, and I just heard that, it's in the process of we're putting up another building. So you can see that the institute has grown very rapidly since this inception of this graduateship program in 1979. I'm sure that many of you would agree that the graduateship program that had such a humble beginning is the driver behind the institute's success. Today, the graduateship program itself has grown into a very nationally recognized educational program that plays an important role in training chemists required for national development. I'd like to take this opportunity to tell the students of the graduateship program, if any of them are listening, that they have chosen a field of study that is central to many other disciplines, whether it's biology, biotechnology, nanotechnology, chemical engineering, drug discovery, and the list goes on. Chemistry is a central science that has applications in many other disciplines. With your basic qualifications and skills in chemistry, you can venture into any of these fields. And my advice to you today is do not be afraid to do so, to take up such challenges if the opportunities come up. You now have to think of yourself not as chemists, but as scientists. Do not try to confine yourself to your comfort zone. Step outside. The world is wide open to you. In this context, I would like to quote Sir Richard John Roberts, the British biochemist and molecular biologist, who shared the 1993 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for the discovery of introns in eukaryotic DNA and the mechanism of gene splicing. I quote, "Much of my work in biology has been driven by my early training in chemistry. When studying a new chemical compound, the first and the most important thing is to determine its detailed molecular structure," unquote. That's a testament to the role of chemistry, that the role the chemistry has played in the work of a Nobel Prize winning biologist. Coming back to the subject of today's event, I'm delighted to see one of my former students, a former colleague of course, and of course, a dear friend, being inducted as the 84th president of the Institute of Chemistry. I must acknowledge that one of the things that is most rewarding of being a university teacher is that in addition to shaping the minds of thousands of young students, you develop friendships that last for the rest of your life. Even more rewarding is to see your students, former students, reaching greater heights. Sriyanti, there is a saying that once a student, you are always a student. Therefore, in my eyes, you are always my student. The fact that you are a friend is secondary. I'm proud of your achievement. Professor Dharaniyagala has served the University of Colombo and the Institute of Chemistry with distinction for several decades, a creditable achievement indeed. I had no doubt that the Institute of Chemistry can look forward to a very productive year under her leadership. I wish Professor Dharaniyagala and the Institute of Chemistry all the success during her tenure as the president of the Institute of Chemistry. Thank you very much, and thank you very much again for inviting me to be the chief guest on this occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those entertaining and informative words. Let me now invite Professor Priyani Paranagama to introduce the incoming president. Professor Paranagama is a past president of the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon, and is a senior professor and chair of chemistry at the University of Kanina, Sri Lanka. She currently serves as the director of Institute of Indigenous Medicine, University of Colombo, and is a visiting professor at the College of Chemical Sciences. Without further ado, I cordially invite Professor Paranagama to introduce the 84th president of the Institute of Chemistry.
Thank you very much. President of the Institute of Chemistry, Professor Sagarika Ekanayake. Newly elected President, Professor Sriyanti Dharaniyagala. Chief guest of the inductor ceremony, Professor L.M.N. Tilakaratne. Dean of the College of Chemical Sciences. Council members of the Institute of Chemistry. Past presidents, members of the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon, academic staff members, registrar of the Institute of Chemistry, administrative staff, non-academic staff members, all the participants who joined through the webinar today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to introduce the 84th President of the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon for the 2021-2022 council year in this induction ceremony. So it is my duty to introduce Professor Sriyanti Dharaniyagala to this audience today. This is a duty I perform with immense amount of pleasure and satisfaction. Professor Sriyanti Ayoma Dharaniyagala, Senior Professor of the Department of Chemistry, University of Colombo, retired recently, leaving behind 47 years of association with the University of Colombo. 4.5 years as a student, 42.5 years as academic staff member. She graduated with the first class in chemistry in 1978. After serving as temporary assistant lecturer in the Department of Chemistry, she was appointed into the permanent cadre in April 1979. Professor Dharaniyagala left for her postgraduate studies to Dalhousie University in Canada in September 1979. During her graduate studies, she was awarded the Isaac Walton Killam Scholarship for excelling among international students based on the first year of study. She returned to the department in 1984 after obtaining PhD in bioorganic chemistry. She was the first internal academic to teach biochemistry in the department. In 1987, she was appointed as the convener of the subcommittee to formulate biochemistry course for the Faculty of Science. She was a brainchild of then Dean, Professor L.M.E. Tilakaratta, who delivered the chief guest address today in this induction ceremony. Subsequently, she was appointed as the first coordinator of the interdepartmental biochemistry course of the faculty in 1990. Stepping up the ladder, the Department of Chemistry now has fully fledged degree program in biochemistry and molecular biology. During her first sabbatical leave in 1992, Professor Sriyanti Dharaniyagala researched in the area of inhibitors for beta-lactamase at Wesleyan University, United States, having obtained National Science Foundation USA postdoctoral fellowship for science in developing countries. On returning to the university, she introduced pharmaceutical and medicinal chemistry into the curriculum of the special degree program in chemistry. Her research has been predominantly in the area of food chemistry, natural product chemistry, and medicinal chemistry. Her work has been published in international as well as local journals. She is the author of several books, book chapters, monographs as well. Her research has been recognized at the national level, where she was awarded Presidential Award for research in 2002, 2003 to 2005. Her research work has been funded by several research grants, University of Colombo, NARESA, currently called National Science Foundation, and the World Academy of Sciences, TWAs. She has served as the acting head of the Department of Chemistry many occasions and has been the head of the department from 2002 to 2003, just before she availed for herself of her second sabbatical leave. She obtained her associate professorship in 1991, professorship in 2001, senior professorship in 2008. She has served in numerous committees within the university as well as in the national level advisory committees. Ladies and gentlemen, let me now state the valuable contribution she made to the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon. She is a fellow of the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon. She has been appointed as a visiting professor to College of Chemical Sciences from January 2015 to October 2015 and May 2018 to November 2018. In addition to conducting lectures and laboratory classes, she was heavily involved in curriculum development in the College of Chemical Sciences. During this period, she was able to interact with young internal academic staff of the College of Chemical Sciences and share her experience in the subject as well as in teaching and curriculum development. She also had research project with two young internal academics, which culminate 4 international publications and 1 local publication. She served the Institute of Chemistry as a visiting lecturer since 1995 to date, delivered lectures and also involved laboratory classes, involved drafting syllabus for laboratory courses, theory courses, and involvement in many revisions thereafter. She served as a member of the Educational Committee, now called Academic Board, since 1998 as an elected member or co-opted member to date. Council member since 1991 for many years to date. And she was the honorary editor 94-95 council year. Honorary assistant treasurer 2005-2006 council year. And she is the chairperson of the monograph committee from 2012 to 13 to date. Chairperson of the school chemistry programs in the year 2005-2006. Chairperson, Science Popularization Committee, 95-96 council year. She served as the coordinator of seminars workshop. Few examples, she coordinated the seminar on environmental sampling, analysis, statistical analysis in 1995-2000, and also scientific measurement and calculation 2015, etc. She served as a member of the editorial and publicity committee many years. Science Education Committee 2002-2003 and 2004-2005. Institute Industry Interaction Committee 2004-2005. Training Seminar and Workshop Committee 2008-2009. Inter-School Chemistry Quiz Committee 2001-2002. Social Affairs Committee many years. Building Project Committee 2002-2003 and 2004-2005. Library Committee 2004-2005. House and Finance Committee many years. Considering her valuable contribution to the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon, she was awarded the Yeoman Service Award in 2019. She was the Vice President in 2019-20 and President-elect 2020-2021, and she is the 84th President of 2021-2022 from tomorrow. Institute of Chemistry is the Chemical Society of Sri Lanka, and it's the chemical society for all the chemists in Sri Lanka. So Institute of Chemistry has a proud and impressive track record. The institute has a very large membership ranging from recently passed out chemists and most senior chemists who are respected eminent chemists in the country. I thought giving the leadership to such an institute is an honor, and I strongly believe that Professor Sriyanti Daranegala is richly deserved this position. So I congratulate Professor Sriyanti Daranegala, who has been selected as the 84th President of Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon. As President, you are assuming new duties, new obligations, and responsibilities, and this will make demands on your thoughts, time, and energy. On a personal note, I'm happy to say I have been closely associated with Professor Sriyanti Daranegala since 1995. Some of the inspiring qualities I found with her: she listened to others, she's a strong communicator, and she has a very balanced mind, and also she's a very good team worker. Hence, she has good leadership skills, and therefore the institute in safe hand too. Before I conclude my speech, once again, I congratulate Professor Sriyanti Daranegala and wish you a successful and rewarding year 2021-2022. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. And now we move on to the most important event of this evening, the induction of the 84th president of the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon. To proceed with the induction, I invite Professor Sagarika Ekanayake and Professor Sriyanti Darniyagala. And now, the past president's medal will be bestowed upon Professor Sagarika Ekanayake by our newly inducted president, Professor Sriyanti Darniyagala. Thank you. It is with great honor that I invite Professor Sriyanti Darniyagala, the 84th president of the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon, to address the gathering.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining in. I'm deeply honored to be inducted as the president of the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon for the year 2021-2022. And I take this opportunity to thank the members for the confidence placed in me. The theme for the year 2021-2022 is Shaping Minds to Breakthrough Frontiers in Chemical Research. Before I proceed to propose the activities under my theme, let me pay tribute to persons who have shaped my mind in my early years, which led to my pursuing an university education. My parents would be the foremost, followed by the teachers at Ladies College, where I gained my primary and secondary education. Moving on to tertiary education, I would like to pay tribute to some of my professors who were inspirational in shaping my career so that I was able to achieve the present heights. Professor R.S. Ramakrishna, who was very actively involved in the Institute of Chemistry as well, whose photo is hanging in the council room of Adamantine House, was the chair and head of the Department of Chemistry while I was a student at the University of Colombo. He was my undergraduate research supervisor. He was the head of the department when I was absorbed into the permanent academic cadre. And he had continued to hold the post even when I returned after my PhD. Professor Ramakrishna imparted great knowledge on administrative matters, academic discipline, and work ethics. Stringent rules in that era. Professor Ramakrishna is no alien to the Institute of Chemistry. Most of us here are beneficiaries of his unstinted effort. He was the president of the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon, when the first GIC course commenced. I wish to quote from the article, Original, Initial Development and Later Development of the GIC program, published in Chemistry in Sri Lanka, 2016, volume 33. I quote, under the vibrant and long-sighted vision of ICHEMC President, Professor R.S. Ramakrishna, the Institute successfully negotiated with Aquinas College of Higher Education to conduct the graduate program, Part 1, on Friday evenings, full day Saturday and Sunday morning. The first graduate course was ceremonially inaugurated in May 1979. That period was a stressful and scourging time where the open economy was newly introduced and the private institutes were virtually absent. Private sector participation in higher education in Sri Lanka appeared as a challenging obstacle, where the influence of government university education policy of free education was highly appreciated. There were some academics, including chemists, who were insisting on not permitting university academics to conduct lectures for the graduate program, even after working hours and on weekends. It would be specially mentioned the dogged courage and determination of the Institute President, Dr. R.S. Ramakrishna, who stood against all accusations thrown at the Institute and fought with the officials to get the permission from the university authorities to conduct lectures for the first Part 1 course at Aquinas College, unquote. Professor Mail Mahaganam Mahendra was my first teacher of organic chemistry at the university. His teaching grounded me in the subject. He has taught me in the subsequent years as well. I'm happy that I had the opportunity of doing my doctorate in bioorganic chemistry. Professor Mahendra was deeply involved with the affairs of the Institute as well. He, together with Professor Tilakaratna, was in charge of formulating the organic chemistry syllabus for the first batch of GIC students and was a member for the first examiners board. After completion of Part 1 of the first batch of students at Aquinas College, for some reason, Aquinas College refused to grant permission for the GIC Part 2 course, Theory and Practicals, to proceed at its premises, although the Laboratory Technician Certificate course had continued at Aquinas for some time. The council was in a serious tangle as a result of these unexpected development, and not wanting to let down the first batch of students, at which time Professor Mahendran offered the palatial garage at his Colombo residence to be converted into a laboratory. During this time, deliberations were also going on with many schools, and finally, St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia, agreed to rent classrooms and labs of the science block on the basis that the Institute of Chemistry had to manage program like taking over the administration and financial arrangements. Professor Mahendran was thoroughly involved in this new venture of steering the course in this independent direction. Professor J. Heno Fernando was my first teacher of physical chemistry, namely thermodynamics, at the University of Colombo. His teaching was exemplary. He repeated the same fact in many different ways so that the student had time to write down notes. There were no handouts at that time. Duplicating was rare. His repetitive mode got into me so that I too seem to have cultivated the habit, and although would be appreciated by my students, sometimes brings annoyance to my offspring and maybe to some of you, so please bear with me. On my return from my PhD, I had the opportunity of interacting with him as a colleague before he left to the Open University of Sri Lanka. Even then, we had much interaction through the Institute of Chemistry. This interaction at the university and the institute imparted much knowledge to me on administrative and financial aspects required for institutional development. I'm thrilled to say that there was one instance where I gave orders to Professor J.N.O. Fernando. Professor Fernando spent a year of sabbatical leave at the Columbia University in the early 2000s. I was the coordinator of the London A-level practical chemistry examination, and Professor Fernando was also incorporated as an examiner. Regulations required that all solutions and samples and trials be handled only by senior academics. Due to Professor J.N.O.'s busy schedule and his not being much into wet chemistry and doing such things by himself, I was wondering what I should give him. So I asked him to sandpaper a roll of magnesium and to cut 80 pieces of 1-inch magnesium strips and to wrap each strip in oil paper, something he could do seated. He listened to my instructions, and with much glee, he said he was happy to see me doing things quite in advance. A tribute to Mrs. Manrupa as well, who patiently bore the long hours that J.N.O. Fernando was away from home, being involved in professional matters and supporting him in every endeavor. I'm sure everyone knows the tremendous and untiring effort Professor J.N.O. Fernando put to bring this institute to this great height and recognition. Last but not least, our chief guest, Professor L.M.B. Tilakaratne, was my teacher of natural products related topics in my 3rd and 4th year of study. On returning to the department after having obtained my postgraduate qualifications, Professor Tilakaratne became the Dean of the Faculty of Science. Even so, he encouraged me, actually he dragged me into the path of research, and together we started on research with an MPhil student. Although at that time, there was not much emphasis on research, the value of research soon became evident with marking schemes emerging for promotion, which had much emphasis on research. This joint initial venture with Professor LMBT, as we call him, shaped me to take off on my own in subsequent years. Professor Tilakaratne is no stranger to the Institute. He was among the first lecturers to conduct the lectures to the first batch of students of the GIC, which was held at Aquinas College. As mentioned, Professor Tilakaratne served the Council of the Institute of Chemistry in different capacities as well as in the academic board. I will be failing in my duty if I do not mention Professor W.D. Ratnasurya, with whom I collaborated in the latter years on my research, making use of his animal bioassays. This collaboration indeed helped me to step up further in my career. Having served as a senior academic at the University of Colombo for over 42 years, I have also been associated with the Institute of Chemistry for about 35 years. I have watched the Institute of Chemistry grow productively in many spheres in keeping with its mission and vision and encompassing the fact that chemistry is the central science. The Institute of Chemistry has played a pivotal role in being the largest provider of graduate chemists to a vast array of organizations in the country. This has been largely due to the educational arm of the Institute of Chemistry, the College of Chemical Sciences, which administers the graduate course in chemistry since 1979. A University Grants Commission accredited BSc program in chemical science has also got off the ground, commencing in 2020, with the second batch of students just enrolled. The Laboratory Technician Certificate course, which commenced in 1973, was upgraded to the Diploma in Laboratory Technician course in 1999, has also been very successful in providing the industry with technical personnel of high quality and in-depth knowledge. The GIC course has produced 125 graduates per year. Actually, this time it was over 145, and the recipients have not only gained employment in private sector, but many have secured scholarships to universities in developed countries to pursue their higher studies leading to a doctoral degree. Although we at the Institute may not have facilities to break through frontiers in chemical research, the introduction of the research project into the curriculum has been a great opportunity to students towards an in-depth interest in research, which has no doubt helped them in their studies in developed countries, some of whom have excelled in breaking through the frontiers. I'm proud, and so would some of you in the audience, to have been associated with the College of Chemical Sciences for many years, and thereby had the opportunity to shape the minds of students, enabling them to carry out cutting-edge research in countries overseas. Activities for the year 2021-2022. During my tenure as president, I will continue some activities and also incorporate new activities aimed at creating an interest in chemistry at the secondary and tertiary level of education in order to steer students towards an outcome-oriented career. Furthermore, I will strive towards shaping the institute-industry interaction for betterment of society. Activities at the tertiary level of education, activities to promote secondary level of education, industry-oriented activities, Women Chemist Committee, infrastructure development are some of these activities. Activities at the tertiary level of education. I want to introduce a new activity to the IChemC students aimed at shaping young minds towards frontiers in chemistry. Students will get the opportunity to interview eminent scientists or inventors. This will help to expose young minds to frontiers in chemical research, to gain experience in conducting literature search on eminent scientists and their research and inventions, and to develop their soft skill. The scientists will be of the caliber of Nobel laureates, Sri Lanka's own products who have excelled in disrupting the frontiers in research, as well as inventors. I have already one inventor in mind with whom I have communicated. He was born in Galle, Sri Lanka, and his primary and secondary education was at Mahinda College. He is none other than Vidya Jyoti, Dr. Bandula Vijayratna, CEO President of Leomed LLC and BinLab, Houston, Texas. Is one of the most eminent inventors of medical devices in the United States. He's a scientist, engineer, businessman who is known for his invention of the perfusion angioplasty catheter and perfusion pump nested loop. Dr. Vijay, as he is known in USA, also holds the position of adjunct professor and teaches biotechnology and bioengineering at the Houston University, Victoria. He also serves as a professor of clinical medicine at the Kotalawala Defense University, and he is appointed as the ambassador for science and technology and innovation for Sri Lanka. Another new activity towards shaping minds towards creativity is the Inter-University Chemistry Magic Show. The CCS, that is the College of Chemical Sciences, has experience in this activity, and I thought we should expand it as a competition among other higher education institutes. The competition will be made into a YouTube so that it could be available to school children as well. Another activity at the tertiary level is the inter-university debate. This already exists, but I would continue it as it would contribute towards developing the soft skills, developing analytical skills, improving a broad-based knowledge in chemistry. Webinars by eminent scientists. This will expose young minds to frontiers in chemical research. Activities at the secondary level of education. Dr. Bandula Vijayratna, of whom I spoke previously, speaking on ingredients for innovation for an Innovative Economy in Sri Lanka in 2018 said the following, quote, like a gem which when cut and polished properly to make it shine well and beautiful, the young minds need to be properly prepared to make them brilliant through a process of education, unquote. He further mentioned, quote, that similar to America and China, the students needed to be encouraged to do innovations when they are in grade school, as the mindset of innovation among them would disappear after the university education, unquote. I will continue with some activities we have already been doing at the secondary level of education. Activities for school children to shaping minds from a young age is the All Island Chemistry Quiz. This will promote the popularization of chemistry and encourage students to understand its importance in today's world. Another activity for school students is the Chemistry Olympiad Sri Lanka. Winners of the Chemistry Olympiad Sri Lanka are recognized as National Chemistry Olympiad Gold, Silver, and Bronze medalists. And the 4 best students will receive an opportunity to participate at the International Chemistry Olympiad. Another activity aimed at shaping minds from a young age is the Australian Chemistry Quiz, which will help to inculcate interest in students for further study of science, to encourage participation in challenging and rewarding activities, to create problem-solving ability. Under the subtopic, Shaping Minds Towards a Broader Outlook in Chemistry, seminar, workshops for A-level teachers will be organized, which will have emphasis on laboratory techniques. This will give hands-on experience in laboratory skills and will impart broad-based knowledge in the study area. Industry-oriented activities. I plan to organize seminars and workshops which will give exposure, rekindle underlying principles of chemistry that govern the work carried out by scientific personnel, technicians in the industry, and other scientific organizations and analytical laboratories. This particularly benefits the DLTC course, where most of the students are employed in industry or analytical laboratories. Consultancy to industry and other organizations. In this respect, the Consumer Affairs Ministry has sought expert advice from the Institute of Chemistry with respect to some consumer products. I will give the fullest support for the continuation of this activity. It is significant that NARA has requested the Institute of Chemistry to be involved in determining the PCB and PAH levels in collected fish, sludge, and water samples in order to investigate the effect of the Express Pearl incident on the surrounding marine ecosystem. Services to industry. This is something that was started at the Institute of Chemistry some time back, but due to non-availability of adequate lab space, it could not be continued. However, with the new building emerging, we may be able to resurrect this. This could be quite an income generator. The Colombo University started this in the early 1980s, and it has caught up very well, giving much income to the department. Women Chemist Committee. This was introduced during the presidency of Professor Priyani Paranagama in keeping with some other countries. During the last year, we were able to participate in the International Breakfast Meeting. This year, we will continue to participate in the annual event of Global Women Breakfast under the IUPAC. Also, we will organize a webinar in collaboration with the women chemists of Federation Commonwealth Chemical Sciences Societies, also known as Commonwealth Chemistry. Coming to infrastructural development, our much awaited building at Malabe should get off the ground quite soon. At least let's hope we can complete 3 or 4 floors of one of the wings. This will enable us to increase our intake with the new With the new laboratories coming up, we should be able to provide more students opportunities to carry out research. Also, the services to the industry can get restarted. We will end with the annual sessions in June 2022. Among other activities, I plan to have a theme seminar on shaping minds to break through frontiers in chemical research. Speakers will be selected from those to whom I have had the opportunity to contribute towards shaping their minds and who are today engaged in cutting-edge research, as well as some who have already disrupted the frontiers in chemistry. Before I conclude, I would like to thank the sponsors for the activities for the coming 2021-22 presidential year. These are the number of sponsors around the globe. Main sponsor is from United States of America. Another 24 are also from USA. Two from Canada, 1 from UK, 2 from New Zealand, 5 from Australia, and 7 from Sri Lanka. I will be mentioning each sponsor at the annual session in June 2022. However, I need to mention the Sri Lanka sponsors now. Bank of Ceylon, Hatton National Bank, MK Electronics Private Limited, Lion Chem, International Construction Consortium, Induphoto, Color Coatings Lanka Private Limited. Before I conclude, I would like to thank Ms. Kaushani Gunaratna, a past student of IKMC as well as University of Colombo, for the tremendous assistance towards this PowerPoint presentation. Dr. Anmal Gunatilaka, Mr. Hasanta Aberatna, Mr. Nishan, for undertaking to do all what is required with this event today. The webinar crew is much thanked, and the photographer as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for your patient listening.
Thank you, madam. We have now reached the end of the formal proceedings. I thank you all for joining in to witness this momentous occasion. Have a pleasant evening. Thank you.